So today's video is very exciting to me because I'm going to be recreating Leah Halton's makeup routine. If you don't know Leah Halton, I'm going to be showing her video right now, like as I do my makeup. I'm going to be linking her channel down below, of course. She's an Australian YouTuber who just recently started her channel like a year ago, I think. I'm really excited to do this makeup look because I actually saw this video and I was like, I'm gonna recreate this makeup look, and then I was like, wait a minute, like I can record it. Let's get right into it. Guys, look at my new headband. Okay, so I have my video right here, so I'm going to be looking there while the video plays.
Let's get into the makeup. So, I have been loving this primer. Honestly, I never even know if primers do anything, but this is the Il Mascara primer, and it is very bougie. It looks like black gel, it has a little spoon, and I just love how it makes me feel when I start off my makeup.
Okay, so Leah's using a primer first, but obviously I don't have such expensive stuff, so I have this Makeup Revolution primer. It's kind of busted. I'm not really sure what is the reason behind it, because I don't really use it that often. I don't really use primers that much, but for the sake of this video I'm going to be using one. So this is the Makeup Revolution Hydrating Primer. Leah is kind of known for doing her eyes and eyebrows first, like not your face makeup. So that's very interesting because I don't think I've ever done it. That's going to be a journey. Okay, so I have my primer on and it's starting to feel tacky. So I think she's now going into eyebrows.
Let's move on to eyebrows. Now, of course, I'm using my trusty Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz.
Okay, so she's using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in a dark brown color, but I obviously don't have that. I'll be using this Skechers one. Okay, now I filled in my brows, kind of. I'm not really used to this because I used to do this a lot and then I stopped because I fell in love with the soap brow look. So yeah, but it's nice to change the things up sometimes.
The 24-hour brow setter by Benefit, nothing beats it. I do like the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, but this one just keeps them really stiff.
Okay, so she's using a brow gel and I'm not really using a brow gel, I'm using hair gel. This is the Got to Be Glued, and it's really good for brows. They're not gonna move the whole day, so that's really great. I would really recommend using this one. I think this costs like, I don't know, like €5, so it's really affordable. Okay, so now I'm just brushing my brows up and to the sides as she's doing in her video.
Little Beauty Bay brush and my NARS concealer in the shade Vanilla for underneath the brow and Custard for above the brow. And again, it's ridiculous because I've been using these products for so long, but it's like I get attached to them because they're just so good.
In the next step, she is cleaning up her eyebrows with some concealer, so I'm going to be doing that as well.
Sorry, I got so distracted. I'm using this and just doing what I do. Also, like, can you see my posture? I can't help but sit terribly, and I think that's because in primary school we would sit on the floor, on the carpet, and my back would just be curled. But so would everyone's. Like, it was actually, like, I swear, in my head I'll be like, oh my god, I have to curl my back more, like, that's cool. I sound so mentally unstable. Okay, so now that I'm looking a bit orange, I'm going to go in with these shades and just, like, deepen that up a bit.
She has the Kylie Cosmetics bronze palette, like the first one. So she's using the orange shade and then she's deepening up the crease with like kind of like more cool toned shades. I don't have that palette, but I have the James Charles palette. So I will be using this kind of like orange shade. This palette is so pigmented, like it's one of the best palettes I have, but you know, I don't think anyone takes it seriously because I don't have a lot of expensive palettes. And to be honest, I don't think like the James Charles palette was like that expensive. It cost me like, I don't know, like €40, but there's a lot of shades in there, so you know. Overall, if you like to play with makeup, I would really recommend the James Charles palette because it has like every single shade you need for colorful and more natural looks. So that's why I like it so much. Okay, so now I have the orange all over my lids. And to be honest, it really makes my eyes pop because like my eyes are blue and they're really like cool toned, and this is just warm toned as heck. So I'm going in with some more cool tone shades, and for the more cool tone shades I'm going to be using these two colors, this one and this one. Can you even see that? And I'm going in the crease with them, just like that. Okay, so now that I have my eyeshadow somewhat blended, I'm going into the next step.
So now that I've deepened that up a bit, but not too deep, like it's just a little bit of fun, I'm taking my beloved Scott Barnes blush palette, and I will be taking these two highlighters. So this one on my finger, and I'll be putting that like on my inner corner and starting to blend that up. This has also become a lot harder because I finally got my nails done. And then I'm going in with the peach shade, and I'm putting that like more center lid.
Okay, so she's using the Scott Barnes blush palette, but unfortunately I don't have that one. So I'm using this busted Makeup Revolution highlighter palette. It's she's using the light shade in her inner corners and kind of like a peachy shade on her lid, in the center of her lid. So I'm going to be using this one in the inner corners like that. And for the peachy shade, I'm going to be using a combination of these two because this one is kind of dark, so I want to lighten it up a bit.
I'm going to do the liner. This is the KVD Vegan Beauty Tattoo Liner in the shade Mad Max Brown. So I guess just a normal wing, and then the inner portion of my eye, I'm just making sure I'm doing that as thin as possible. Sometimes I don't do eyeshadow, it's optional. Okay, so now that I've done my eyeliner really terribly, I'm going to smudge it out. So again, I'm taking this and like the dark brown shade, and then this little angled eyebrow brush. And I'm just going along the top of the liner. I'm just like trying to make the line of the liner not harsh, if that makes sense. All right, we're gonna do the rest of my eyes later, but let's move on to...
Okay, so she's using a brown eyeliner, which again, I don't have. So I'm going to be improvising, and I'm going to use eyeshadow as my eyeliner because she's smudging it out anyway. I'm going to be using, I think this one is like a very, very dark brown. So Leah actually puts eyeliner all over her eye, which I don't usually do. I usually stop in the middle, but she's going all the way to the front, so I will be doing that as well. Okay, so my eyeliner looks something like this right now, but we're going to smudge it out. So I'm taking this brush I just used again, but with a lighter brown shade. I'm going to be using a mix of this one I just used and this one to smudge it out. Okay, so now that my eyes look like this, we're going into the skin, and I'm very excited for this because her makeup looks always so flawless and just so glowy. So yeah, I'm really excited for this.
My fave foundation ever, which is the NARS Sheer Glow. I'm doing half a pump of this one, which is in the shade Syracuse, and then like 2 pumps of this one, which is very light, and this is in the shade Gobi. I don't want to use that much. I just really want to distribute this over my whole face, but it's good if it's like really thin foundation, like you want your natural skin to shine through. All right, so now that I've kind of blended this out a little bit, I'm taking the Hourglass Vanish Stick in the shade Bisque and highlighting with this. But yeah, it was really cute. The other day it was my 1 year on YouTube, you guys.
Okay, so she's using a very sheer foundation. So I'm using this one. It's the Trended Up Sheer Nude Makeup. And I'm going to be using it all over my face with a beauty sponge because I don't have any foundation brushes. I've never really used a brush to apply my makeup, so I'm not really sure what's that about, but she always uses a brush, so maybe it's better. I just haven't found a non-streaky foundation brush. So I'm just going to be using my little beauty blender and putting it all over my skin. Okay, so now that I've blended everything in, she's using a Hourglass stick foundation to kind of highlight some of her face parts, but I don't have a stick foundation either, so I'm just using my classic Catrice concealer and putting it pretty much everywhere she did. Okay, so now that I've put on concealer, I kind of cleaned up, like, you know, the eyeshadow and the edges. And to be honest, I kind of get like why she's doing her eyes first, because if I do my eyeshadow after my face makeup, I usually have some fallout, exactly from the James Charles palette, but some eyeshadows I have a lot of fallout. So yeah, it actually makes sense that she's doing her eyes first. Good job.
Taking the KVD Vegan Beauty setting powder, pat that in a tiny bit, like not much. All right, now that we have the base on,
it's time to get crazy.
Okay, so she's using a translucent powder for this. I don't have the exact one she has, but I have this one. So I'm taking a brush because I didn't really see how she applied it, but I'm guessing she just put it a little bit everywhere because that's what she said. So I'm gonna set it in place. Don't I look a bit scary? I feel like my face is just gone, and then I have these big eyes.
The Scott Barnes contour palette, and I'm gonna contour with like these shades, contour and bronze, and I'm just kind of blending that up onto my forehead. And now I'm gonna contour my nose with this little brush, and now we're done. Thank you guys so much. Don't worry, we're gonna fix this, but I'm taking this brush and this brown shade and going on my under eyes with that, so like here. So again, I'm taking the Scott Barnes blush palette and I'm going in with literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like all these colors, just mixing them together, and I'm putting it like on the higher parts of my cheeks, not so much in the front here. And then I'm going to take the excess and just run that over my nose and kind of like bring that down.
Okay, so she's using the Scott Barnes contour palette, but I have this Benefit one, so I'm going to be mixing these two contour bronze shades and just doing the exact same thing she did. So I'm going to be putting it here and all over my forehead. Okay, so now that I have my bronzing contouring done, I'm going to be taking these two blush shades and putting them right here. And this is another thing I don't really do, but I've seen a lot of people do that, so I'm gonna try it. I'm not gonna bring it like down to the apples of my cheeks, but I'm going to basically put it like over my cheekbones. Okay, so she contoured her nose, and I always contour my nose as well because I think like it makes your nose appear smaller, but if you do it right. But at the same time, I feel like it just looks so blank if you don't do it, you know? So I'm going to be contouring my nose with this shade right here. So she leaves her nose contour somewhat unblended, so I'm going to do the same thing, so don't worry, it's not gonna look this harsh. And then she takes like the leftover blush and puts it all over her nose. So I'm going to be doing that as well.
Then I'm going to take the excess and just run that over my nose and kind of like bring that down because that really gives you a sun-kissed look. All right, and now it's time for the thing that I think makes the look, which is the freckles. So I take this brush, Beauty Guru, and I start off with this dark shade. And I go over any pimples or any beauty spots that I have. I have one beauty spot here, which has been covered up by makeup. It's weird, I only have like freckles on this side of my forehead, which is really weird. So I like to put some here, but I have some dark ones like here, here, and then I just kind of dot around my nose. And then I go in with this one, and it's also good if you do it along the contours of your nose because that adds dimension. I used to hate my freckles. Obviously I'm drawing on fake freckles. I obviously prefer the freckles that I draw on because they have better placement and stuff. And then I'm going in with the lightest one and just like adding more. And also it doesn't matter if they're like not perfect circles, it's probably better because freckles aren't perfect. All right, and now that I look very freckly, don't worry, I'm not gonna stay as
Okay, so she's doing fake freckles, which I love. She starts putting them over here on her forehead and along with her contour lines and all over her cheeks. So that's what I'm going to do.
Now I'm going to reverse contour with the KVD Vegan Beauty Shade and Light palette and just do that like against the contour of my nose. This is a must-have.
Yes, I agree. This is must-have because the whole like reverse contouring makes everything just looks so much better. but I don't have the KVD one, so I'm using the Makeup Revolution matte base powder in the shade P1 and doing the same thing as she did. So taking my beauty blender, like a dry one, and pressing it on against the contour lines. Let's go to the next step.
I'm now going to spray my face with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Setting Spray Mist. This smells amazing.
Okay, fun fact, but really sad fact. I don't have that one, obviously, but I have this Makeup Revolution Sport Fix one, and it's so great. Like, it really holds in your makeup like for a longer time, but it smells so bad. It smells so bad. Like, for what? She's saying that her smells so good and I'm here with like a smelly one, but you know.
That's drying. I'm gonna finish off my eyes. So I'm going back in with this and I'm doing an inner eye corner cat wing. This also changes the look so much. I never used to do this. I swear it like makes your eyes so much bigger. Like, okay, so now that I've done that, I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. This is also a game changer because I never used to curl my lashes. I only started curling my lashes like a week ago and it changes everything. Okay.
I never actually used to curl my lashes before, but it's such a game changer. Even if you have long and curled lashes, buy yourself a eyelash curler because that's a game changer. And again, I don't have the brown eyeliner, so I'm using a very thin brush and the dark shade from the James Charles palette to do my little inner corner.
Oh, my eyes are watering a bit. I'm gonna put on mascara. So I have stolen this from my mum. I've been loving this. This is the NARS Climax mascara. I kind of like to actually bring them outwards instead of up. Look how much that does for me. I love it.
Okay, so now that I've curled my lashes, I'm going to be using my favorite mascara of all time. It's the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara, and I'm just going to coat my upper lashes. Leah doesn't like putting mascara on her bottom lashes, and to be honest, I haven't done that in a really long time either. So I'm going to be putting that as well as her, just on the upper lashes. So my eyes are pretty much done, I would say. So let's get to the other step.
Alright, and now that I have done mascara, let's move on to highlighter. So I'm taking this brush and both of these shades mixed together, and this highlight is just, oh, it's everything. I literally just like put it around my face a bit just to add some glow, and I feel like that's what makes it look, again, so natural.
Okay, so she's using a highlighter from the Scott Barnes palette, but I'm going to be using my favorite highlighter. It's from the Benefit Cheerleader Bronze Squad palette, and it's in the shade Cookie. So I'm just dipping it in and putting it everywhere, basically, as she says. Okay, so now that I look like a glazed donut, I think it's time for the lips.
Guess what? I have found a different lip liner other than Kylie X Balmain lip liner in the shade Paris. I didn't go out and buy this. I already had it. One day I just used it and I'm like, wait, this is actually nice as well. So I thought I'd show you guys because I've been using it. So this is the MAC lip liner in the shade Strip Down. And yeah, I'm just gonna overline my lips with this. All right, and now that I have overlined my lips, I used this for the first time today and I don't mind it. So it is the Maven Beauty lipstick in the shade Sus. And I'm just gonna put a bit of this. And then I'm using a bit of the KKW cream lipstick in the shade Kimberly. And yeah, I actually think that is it. It is it.
She's using kind of like a burnt color because as well I don't have this type of lipstick or lip liner. So I will be using the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade Leon, I think. I'm going to be overlining my lips and I'll be back. Okay, so now that I look on my lips and on hers, I think mine are a bit more red. So I'm going to be using this Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in the shade Legendary and kind of putting it over. I'm not really sure if this made it look any better, but I actually don't have a cream lipstick. Every single one that I have is matte, so I'll have to deal with this. So yeah, I think this is the finished look. Oh, and one thing I forgot is that she put like bronzer under her eyes. Now the look on her and I look on myself. So I will be using this Hoola Caramel Bronzer under my eyes. Okay, so I guess this is the finished look. I really love it. I think it's so different from what I do, because I usually do like very light face makeup and a very light eyebrow, very light everything basically. So this was a really nice change and it looks so good. It looks so good on her. She's literally perfect. Thank you, Leah, for uploading this video so I got to try something new. This is it for today's video and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see the full-on tutorial, go over to Leah Halton's channel and just, you know, watch it there, because this wasn't really such a tutorial, because I just recreated something she came up with. So yeah, see you next. Bye!